Star Trek's new movie reveals a controversial original series alien is still alive. For decades, Star Trek has prided itself on challenging the status quo, both within its fictional universe and in the real world. From its inception in the 1960s, the franchise tackled social issues through metaphor, presented utopian ideals, and explored what it truly means to be sentient, civilized, and alien. But one of its most controversial creatures, an alien whose very existence sparked debates among fans and scholars alike, seemed forever relegated to the past. Until now. In a bold twist, the upcoming Star Trek movie has revealed that the Horta, yes, the silicon-based lifeform introduced in the original series episode, The Devil in the Dark, is not only alive, but thriving. Even more, the new film positions the Horta as a central figure in the growing tensions between the Federation and a mysterious new species introduced in the story. It's a shocking return for one of Star Trek's most misunderstood aliens and one that is already igniting passionate discussions across the fandom. The Horta, a misunderstood monster. Originally appearing in Star Trek, the original series Season 1, Episode 25, The Devil in the Dark, the Horta was a grotesque, rock-like creature responsible for what initially appeared to be a series of brutal murders on the mining planet Janus 6. Starfleet was called in to investigate, and Kirk, Spock, and McCoy quickly discovered that the so-called monster was in fact a highly intelligent, sentient being protecting her unhatched offspring, the precious silicon nodules destroyed by careless miners. That episode became one of the most memorable entries in TOS, not just because of its iconic creature design, which was, admittedly, low budget even by 1960s standards, but because it flipped the script. The monster wasn't evil. The humans were. Spock's mind melded with the creature. Pain offered one of the most emotionally charged moments of the entire series. Dr. McCoy's triumphant line, "I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer," cemented the episode as classic Trek. Still, the Horta remained a curiosity, seldom mentioned again in future Trek series beyond passing references. For decades, fans wondered, what became of the Horta? Did they truly integrate into Federation society? Were they ever seen again? The new Star Trek movie answers with a resounding yes, and more than anyone expected. The movie, a return to exploration and ethics. Titled Star Trek: Resurgence, the upcoming movie follows a new Starfleet crew on the USS Paladin as they explore a remote sector beyond the Beta Quadrant. The crew, led by Captain Ellen Cardara, a seasoned diplomat known for her negotiation skills, receives a strange distress call from a dead planet once thought uninhabitable. Upon investigation, they discover not only signs of life, but a subterranean civilization unlike anything in Federation records. It's here the twist lands. The planet is a former Horta colony, abandoned centuries ago after seismic instability, now seemingly repopulated. And the Horta who greets the crew isn't just any member of the species. She is Narot, the same Horta who served aboard Starfleet's Memory Alpha station in the Star Trek Expanded Universe novels and comics. Long assumed non-canon, Narot's reintroduction is a jaw-dropping moment that subtly ties Resurgence into the deep lore of Trek's literary side. How is Narot still alive? Simple. Horta lifespans are measured in centuries. And more importantly, this Horta has evolved far beyond her original appearance. A new form, evolution, or assimilation. In Star Trek: Resurgence, Narod is no longer the slow-moving, lava-secreting creature seen in TOS. Decades of living and working among humanoids has resulted in radical symbiosis. Horta have developed a method of bioengineering crystalline exosuits that allow them to interact with non-silicon-based environments more seamlessly. Think of it as the Horta equivalent of an exosuit, except grown organically from rare minerals. This transformation, while technically scientific, has triggered fierce philosophical debates among the Paladin's crew and the broader Federation. Is this evolution? Cultural assimilation? Is the Horta species changing who they are to survive, or are they simply adapting? The film leans heavily into these themes, with Captain Cardara herself wrestling with her own biases as negotiations with Narot become increasingly complex. The Federation wants access to rare minerals beneath the planet's crust, while Narot and her kind, now culturally distinct from their Janus 6 ancestors, claim sovereignty. Reopening old wounds. The reveal of the Horta sparks old memories among fans and characters alike. One character aboard the USS Paladin is Lieutenant Tamira, a Vulcan xenologist who brings with her the legendary mind meld records of Spock's contact with the original Horta. Tamira's analysis reveals something astonishing. The Horta collective memory is far more advanced than previously known. Through something akin to genetic memory stored in their silicon matrices, Horta can pass down emotional and intellectual imprints across generations. Which means this Narot remembers Spock. She remembers pain, misunderstanding, and, ultimately, compassion. But not all of her kind are so forgiving. A faction of Horta, less trusting of the Federation, more radicalized by centuries of Federation expansion, seeks to ignite a wider conflict, accusing the Paladin crew of repeating the same colonialist mistakes that nearly destroyed their species long ago. It's an echo of the original conflict on Janus 6, but this time with interstellar stakes. Trek's core dilemma: who gets to be called civilized? At its heart, Star Trek Resurgence is more than a creature feature or a nostalgic callback. It's a mirror held up to modern Trek and the Federation itself. The return of the Horta forces both characters and viewers to confront uncomfortable questions. When does diplomacy become exploitation? Can the Federation claim moral high ground when it has benefited from the resources and cultures of lesser understood species? The Horta's controversial reintroduction isn't just about canon, it's about conscience. The creature that once taught Kirk and Spock to see beyond physical form is now teaching a new generation that empathy must evolve alongside technology. The film even dares to show how the Federation isn't a monolith. Some leaders push for full integration of the Horta colony as a member world. Others warn that the species is too alien, too unstable, too non-humanoid to fit in seamlessly. The debate echoes modern-day conversations around immigration, identity, and cultural preservation. Fans are divided, and that's the point. Predictably, Star Trek fans are split. Some are thrilled to see the Horta return, especially with such layered storytelling and respectful modernization of a classic creature. Others argue that the new depiction veers too far from the original. On forums and social media, terms like Hortagate and Silicon Justice Warriors are trending. Memes abound, with some fans humorously comparing Narot's exosuit to a geode Gundam. Still, many longtime Trekkies appreciate the film's ambition. Rather than reducing the Horta to a nostalgic Easter egg, Resurgence turns them into a narrative focal point, expanding on an idea that the original series only scratched the surface of. It's also a rare instance where a non-humanoid alien is given the narrative complexity usually reserved